The first question is, what should you do as a commissioner to improve the infrastructure in the county, especially in the rural parts, the outlying areas?
Clearly, that's been a focus of this Board of Commissioners ever since we were elected 4 years ago. And one of the projects that we're proudest of is the broadband project that has recently been completed. And that will give the rural areas of Montour County the same internet broadband access as metropolitan areas like Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. And that's critical for a number of reasons. It's critical for the individuals. I've got a cousin whose son is a student at Bloomsburg University. They live in West Hemlock Township. At their home, they can't get the broadband. They've got the old slow speed dial-up modem, and he's got to go to his grandfather's house to do his homework. And he's a commuter student, so that's an inconvenience. Now they're going to be able to sign up and have access at their home. We've got businesses out in Anthony Township, like the greenhouses, who say that they've got to do their work at home on their computers at home because they don't have the broadband access at their locations in the northern part of the county. So it's all part of making the county more viable as a site for individuals. And so when we talk about infrastructure, there's a lot of things that go into infrastructure. There's things like the people who are available, the people to fill jobs. There's the county and the support. There's the tax burden. And when you look at some of the state rankings, Montour County is in the top 10 in terms of their best value. So an example is one of the ratings is property tax value. We're 11th in the state. Best county to live. We're 8th in the state. Healthcare and health factors, 6th in the state. Clinical care, 1st. And obviously Geisinger is a big part of that, and having the Geisinger complex. But per capita income, 13th. Our crime rates are low. One of the rankings is called Smart Asset. Montour is the top, it's number 13. So being ranked in these makes us competitive. And then when you look at when you want to recruit people to an area, it's our schools. Our schools are in the top 10. It's recreation, having assets like the Montour Preserve and all the miles of trails. All of those things go into having an infrastructure that shows individuals who want to live here that they can live here, have quality of life. Businesses that want to locate here have accessible schools, good public schools, good health care, and all of this goes together in terms of packaging this area as the place to live and work.
Okay, good. Should the county increase workers' pay to retain more workers?
So workers' pay is a very difficult issue that we're on top of all the time. And I think, Joe, what you've got to look at is you've got to balance the overall total compensation package. So while the county is low in terms of the salary pay, there's a couple of benefits that we offer to our employees that are better than what they can get in the private sector. We still have, and the county and under the state law, we're required to offer a defined benefit plan. Most individuals, when I worked at Geisinger for 30 years, I did not have a defined benefit plan. I had a defined contribution plan, which means that if the stock market drops in half, my retirement income just dropped in half. So as you look at the total compensation package, the county offers better than private industry, retirement plan, health care, and holidays. When I worked at Geisinger, I had 6 holidays. As a county employee, I have 14. I have a defined benefit plan. As a county employee, I had a defined contribution plan as a Geisinger employee, which means that I was at risk with the Geisinger plan versus no risk as an individual with the county plan. When you look at our track record, we have many areas that have been able to stay fully staffed with 20 and 30-year employees. The 2 areas that continue to concern us are the prison and children and youth, the children and youth caseworkers, and the prison officers. And for the prison correction officers, the issue is the competitiveness with federal and state. So that creates a different issue for us. So ultimately, to pay our workers better, what we've got to do is look at other ways to reduce costs. So that's one of the reasons why we initiated the infrastructure project to consolidate offices and purchase the Danville Elementary School. By purchasing the school, we can consolidate offices to that location. That location is already not exempt on the tax rolls. It's not on the tax rolls. We'll consolidate our offices there. It'll be better for the citizens because they'll have two-stop shopping. One will be the courthouse for anything related to judicial issues, and the elementary school for everything else, all the other county services. We'll be able to sell the properties on Woodbine property, which will take real estate and put it back on the tax rolls, as well as attract jobs. The other issue is what we're doing to drive economic growth with Drive. The Mezzo property is going to go from being a vacant, empty, prior industrial site to being a fully functional with multi-users and more jobs. So fundamentally, what we need to do to increase our workers' pay is to be a success economically. And there are a lot of good things that are on the mark that we believe will assist us in tackling this issue for the years to come.
Okay, and I think you possibly had answered the next question, or at least part of it. How how can the commissioners attract more jobs to the county?
Okay, so everything comes together, Joe. So to attract more jobs to the county, it comes back to your question on infrastructure. We're going to provide the best broadband outside of Philadelphia. We've got excellent recreation. We've got trails. We've got the Montour Preserve. We've got the best health care in the country, if not in the world, with the Geisner Health System here. We're very competitive from a property tax value, ranked number 11th in the state. So from a total, place to live, this is a very attractive county. So it makes it, that helps us sell jobs. We're doing the things like bringing natural gas to the industries in the northern part of the county so that they can stay open and grow. One of our accomplishments in my first term was convincing Green Thumb Zinc to locate and to apply for a license to grow marijuana here in Montour County. They got that license. When they started their first year of operation, they had 10 employees. At the end of this year, they expect to be over 100. They've invested well over $1 million in that facility. That grows the tax base. So all of these things together, Joe, is how we're going to tackle and make Montour County continue to be one of the best places in the state of Pennsylvania to live and raise a family.
What is the number one problem the county faces? I think you might have addressed that.
Okay. So when you look at a county's finances, there's only one revenue source for a county, and that's the property tax. We have no ability to tax income, so under the Pennsylvania Commonwealth County Code, property taxes are only source of revenue. When you look at the county's budget, 54% of its revenues come from property tax. The rest are basically state and federal pass-through dollars. And what we need to do is we need to grow the tax base. The other thing we need to do is we need to be vocal about federal and state mandates that don't provide funding. So a good example of this, Joe, is what's going on with the voting machines, where the governor has decided to decertify our voting machines. Our voting machines provide the paper record that everyone is looking for. What we have today meets that requirement. We can audit, we can justify, we can verify every single vote cast. But the governor and his staff, in their infinite wisdom, have decided that our machines are too old, are suspect, and have to be replaced. The replacement price tag on this is going to be $165,000 to $175,000. At this point, the governor is only offering about 25% funding. So that difference of over $100,000 is going to get passed on to us, and we're going to need to find a way. What are our two ways? Reduce costs or increase taxes. So it's trying to maintain at the federal and state level the same accountability that we give to the citizens at a local level. We've got to run efficiently, we've got to keep our costs low, and we've got to look at every dime we spend. And if we do that, we'll continue to grow and prosper.
And that, well, I guess you're saying the number one problem is, well, the economics.
Economic growth.
Economic growth.
We need to continue to attract businesses. We need to continue to build homes. And just to, again, give you another parameter of that, Joe, if you look across the last 10 years, most year our real estate tax growth, even without a tax increase, was close to 1% per year. The last 2 years it's been flat, 0.2%, 0.3%. So what that means is, even though we see a lot of construction, we're not attracting enough businesses, we're not attracting enough new home builders, and that's what we've got to continue to work on towards making things better. Now, one of the keys that, since I've come in office, is we've pushed to get the Cooper Township sewer project done. That will be done this summer, and when that's available, that is going to open up the Route 11 corridor growth for both industry, hotels, restaurants, housing, and that is the kind of things that we've got to continue to keep our eye on to find every kind of opportunity like that. I'm thrilled with some of the things that are going on in Mahoning Township with the home development things that are in the works, and that township supervisors are doing a great job of making their township attractive. That's what we've got to continue to do across the whole county, continue to be attractive to individual and business growth.
Yeah, and that's, I think answers my last question. How can you fix this problem?
Keep doing what we're doing.
Keep doing it.
We're gonna focus on keep doing what we're doing. We're not gonna rest on our accolades. We know, and that's, quite frankly, is why I decided to run for a second term. We've got a lot of good things in the works and a lot of good progress, and I feel that as commissioners we can continue to do the things that we need to do to keep Montour at the forefront. We have a slogan. We may be the third smallest population county. We may be the smallest geographic county, but we're the mightiest, and we've got a lot of people and a lot of things we're proud of. And we can continue to do that and to serve the citizens of Montour County.